Hi, guys. So the roosters are going to be way worse today because the window's open. Because it's finally gorgeous outside. So the roosters are just going to be ridiculous today. And I'm sorry about that, but I'm sure you guys will forgive me. Y'all, my roosters. Hi, Allie. I'm good. I'm knitting actually. That's what I'm doing today. Yesterday we worked a bunch on the soon to be sheep pen. We are getting a ewe. We're getting a ewe and a lamb tomorrow actually. So we're getting their area ready to go. And we worked outside mucking out the pen for quite a while yesterday. It was so nice. It was like seriously so nice. So we did that. I drove the tractor with Bella, and I did an update. I recorded a little bit of the farm stuff while Bella and I were doing the tractor. It's kind of hard to record like while you're on the tractor, so I need to recruit someone else. To record while I'm on the tractor. Hi, everybody. Hello and welcome. I'm just knitting and chatting while we wait for people to come in. It's a little high. It's a little bit better. It's fine. It's totally fine. So what are you guys doing today? Anything fantastic? Anything special? It's Sunday. It should be after church for everybody. Just about that time for everybody. So Bella is definitely doing better. I think part of her problem is allergies. Hi, everybody. I think part of her problem is allergies. So I'm hoping we started giving her Zyrtec again. It's not my favorite, but there's only so much I can do. I would love to find something that worked better for her. I know that Genexa, which is like a homeopathic company that makes medicines, I know that they have an allergy one. I just haven't. I don't think I have any, but I need to look at other homeopathics for allergies because I would rather not have to keep giving her Zyrtec. If I could avoid it and go with something more natural, then that would be preferable, but we will see. Yeah. Ooh, meal prepping. Meal prepping today. I know a lot of people do meal prepping on Sundays. Hey, Amy, I made the egg coffee. It's fantastic. Need to try that coffee jello. I don't attend church. I'm making egg white crackers. They're in the oven right now. Yes, you should try that jello. That jello was crazy good. It was so good. I had one person tell me that it didn't work. I was like, really? I wonder what kind of gelatin they used. I don't know. I asked him. Ooh, look at me throwing knitting needles. This is for Nisha. This is going to be a hat for the baby that looks like a boob. So when the baby's nursing, the baby wears the hat and then it looks like a boob. I told Nisha about him. She was like, I'm going to need a couple of those. So that's what I'm making right now. While my roosters crow while I throw knitting needles. Oh my gosh, come here, fellow. Take off the shoe. Yeah, Zyrtec, you know what we discovered? Oh my gosh. So the off-brand of Zyrtec, you have to be super careful. Oh, because most of those have artificial dyes in them. We got the Allertech, I think it is, from Costco because it's like 365 full like swallow pills, but full doses for 30 some odd dollars. Come in, baby. And we figured it out a couple months ago. Yeah, we figured it out a couple of months ago. Well, it was like 6 months ago when there were still allergies. Cassidy and Noah came back from their moms and they were doing really good at their moms. And then at our house, Noah started getting that anger issue again. We were like, why? What is going on? Like, you're eating so clean. What on earth is going on? And at the time, my Levi was here and he looked at the allergy pills and he was like, hey, Mom, I thought you said you didn't want me taking anything with artificial dyes in it. Yeah, no, I don't. Why? What's got dye in it? And he goes, the allergy pills. And I immediately, and Noah was actually in trouble at that very moment. And he was standing there and we were talking to him. And I looked at him and he goes, well, now we know what's going on. Poor kid. So we stopped giving him those that night. And I switched back over to a liquid Zyrtec because that's all I had at the time. Immediately, no more problems. He was completely better. What is with, are y'all getting a whole bunch of texts lately that are just from like not even numbers, it's like 5 numbers and it's like click this link? No, I'm good. I'm not gonna click your link. I'm gonna delete your text. Is anyone else getting a bunch of those? It's so annoying. And my husband's texting me while he's at work. So funny. The random texts. Or literally one day I got 11 phone calls trying to reach me about my car's extended warranty. 11. My car's warranty isn't even expired yet. Shoot, that was fun. Yeah. Let me see. Meal prepping. Yeah, I probably should. Hello. I'm glad you caught me live. Yes. Good afternoon. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are. Also have allergies, but I find the natural ones don't really work. I know. Take Benadryl at night if I need to take Claritin in the daytime. I think we tried Claritin like years ago, but we haven't tried it recently. Maybe we should try that again. I think I have like Xyzal. We have Zyrtec. We have a bunch of different ones because the kids, when we moved to Wisconsin, the allergies here are so different than they were in California. So we had to find something that didn't have sugar, that didn't have dyes, that didn't have anything in it, that still worked. And so far, Zyrtec is the only one, and it's ridiculously expensive if you buy the actual, like, name brand stuff. And it works. I'm going to try making your Hawaiian rolls later. First time, I'll have to watch your video while I make them. Yes. Krista, if you are on Facebook, or if you are or not, but I have a live that I did in my private Facebook group where I actually make the Hawaiian rolls on camera. So I show you exactly how I do it. I show you how long it takes for mine to whip up. I know for everyone it can be a little bit different. For using egg white powder that has lecithin of some kind in it, it will take longer to whip up. But that is on Facebook in case you want to go check that out. If you're on Facebook, then you can go watch that. That's a live version of the Hawaiian sweet rolls. So good luck and let us know how they turn out once you get them done. Sometimes they're a little finicky and you got to like mess with them. My bestie had her baby girl yesterday. Oh, that's so sweet. Penelope. Oh, that is precious. I've always loved that name. I just wasn't brave enough to ever use it. I don't know why. I know Allie, he's so smart. The spammers are ridiculous. It's insane. Yes, tons of random texts. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. From South Carolina. Hello, South Carolina. Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to text my people and tell them, hey, I'm live. You should get on. Because some of them, their notifications. Did anyone get a notification or did everyone have their alarm set? Get online. Get on YouTube. I'm live. I'm love? No, I'm live. That's hilarious. Let me see. Okay. The generic Zyrtec we get from our pharmacy is just a white pill, no dyes. I'm going to have to see if I can find another one because I couldn't believe it and it was Blue Lake one. And the lakes actually have a stronger effect on a lot of people. So, I mean, we probably wouldn't have figured it out if he wasn't having such a hard time, but he actually punched Cassidy in the stomach because she said she didn't want to continue playing a game. Or no. She was going to keep playing and he didn't want to play and she wouldn't stop or something ridiculous. So he socked her in the stomach. He didn't cause damage. He's, thank goodness, not that strong. But he was just like shaking. He was so upset. And it was like, whoa, where is this coming from? The artificial dye. Fantastic. Do you make smash burgers? I have just seen something about them. Something about them? What did you see, Kim? I do not know anything about them. Question, do you have a farm or a homestead? If so, do you drink raw milk? So we have a farmette, I guess. I don't know what you really call it. The deer are not ours. We just lease the land to the deer owner. We bottle feed the babies as part of our income for deer season. We bottle feed the babies, and then I feed and clean for the hunting ranch during the deer season. And because it's a game preserve, the season's a little bit different than actual like wild deer season. And then we also process meat for ourselves. A lot of the people don't, you're at the amusement park. She's at the amusement park, people. Do you hear this? My friend Tina is not here because she's at the amusement park. So when she rewatches this, everyone can give her a hard time about it. I love you, Tina. So we sometimes get donated meat because the hunters, they come from all over the country and some come from all over the world. They're not about to pay $1,000, $2,000 to have their deer meat shipped. So they'll donate the meat to us and we get to keep it. So we'll process our own deer meat. Last year we processed probably 30 deer. It was a lot of deer. This year, maybe even more. And then we give our dogs some of the front quarters. So we do that. We have the 2 sheep that are coming tomorrow, a mom and her baby. And then we're probably going to add another sheep in the fall, another ewe. We have the 3 emus. We're looking at maybe getting more emus, though. We found someone else that has them. So we might. We'll see. So as far as the raw milk, I have never had it, but I've really wanted to try some because I've heard amazing things from some people about raw milk. I've heard some people go, oh yeah, it didn't do anything for me. And other people are like, OMG, this is life-changing. So I haven't tried it. I really do want to try it. And I think there's only 1 or 2 farms in Wisconsin that are legal to sell raw milk. And they're like 4, 5, or 6 hours away. They're like a minute away. Hey, chickens. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I've not tried the raw milk. I really want to, though, for sure. Allie says, I try not to take allergy pills for a few reasons. One, because I want my body to do the healing. Yes, I hate having to take the pills. I know symptoms are there for a reason. Also, allergy pills can make people gain weight. I don't take it. The back of my throat itches and my ears itch and my nose kind of itches, but I don't take it. I just deal with it. I don't want it for me. But Bella can't stop coughing at all. So she's actually been able to sleep since we started giving her the Zyrtec. So I need to try the homeopathic remedies for that to see if we can build up her tolerance to it, because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. Yep, got notified. Oh, you're already on YouTube, and Wendy got no notification. That makes sense, right, Wendy? Oh my gosh. I can only take them when I have been having an allergy attack for quite a while and I'm getting worn out or it's time to sleep, and I wouldn't be able to do so otherwise. Exactly. No notification. I love the text that I get from Nisha when she is live. I'll have to ask her what program she uses to sign up for like the text notifications and stuff. I'll have to ask her what she uses, and then I'll have to look at doing that. I think that would probably be the better thing to do. Farmette. I don't know. I think that's what it's called. That's what a lot of people around here call them. Farmette. You see baby farm? Yeah. We're not registered as a farm, but we probably could get registered as a farm. I just don't know how to do that. We probably need to, because then it's a tax write-off every time I go to Fleet Farm, and it would be fantastic to have a tax write-off. Do I have a video on how to make bone broth? So what I do for my bone broth, Kizzy, is actually Bella's chicken soup for the soul. Just pressure cook it. And that is how I make my bone broth. So it's, I think, video number 2. That was one of the very first videos that I ever did. We were living in the RV, and Bella makes her first appearance on my channel and helps make broth. So we just made chicken broth. If you do it on the stovetop, then it's just regular chicken broth. But if you put it in the pressure cooker for the same 3 hours, and you can add more bones to it, but I do all exactly the same seasonings with some chicken. Sometimes it's chicken thighs on the bone with the skin. Sometimes it's carcasses left over from like rotisserie chickens. Sometimes it's extra beef bones and other bones that I have left over, or like chicken wing bones. I'll save those as well, and I'll throw those in there. But if you pressure cook it for 3 hours and do the same everything else, it draws so much more out of the bones. And what's really cool is that I can actually then feed those bones to my dogs. Because normally you would never feed cooked bones to dogs, especially chicken bones, because they splinter. But these cook so much that when you pick them up and you pinch them, they disintegrate. They like mush, and then all of the bone marrow in the middle kind of like squishes out. So nasty. But then that is like a way to do no waste for our house, because I hate throwing the bones away after I've made bone broth with them. If I do it on the stovetop, I'm like, I know I could use these for something else, but I don't know how. I can't give them to the dogs because they're cooked. So that is how I have gotten around that. So then I will strain everything out and keep my broth, and then I'll put my broth in giant mason jars, and it'll gel pretty darn hard in the fridge. It's like Jell-O. So that is how I do my bone broth. So it's Bella's chicken soup for the soul. I think it's video number 2, but just pressure cook it on high for 3 hours. I mean, it like pressure cooks the snot out of it, but it makes amazing stuff. But I have to buy, Allie said, I have to buy the drugstore brand generic Benadryl that says the red dye 40 and the dye free are not gluten-free. Guys, it is so hard to be healthy and do what we can. It is so hard. And the more I learn, the more of a feat that it feels like, because gluten-free and dye-free and sugar-free and organic, and then, organic isn't really organic unless it has this on it. And then the things that they're now allowed to put on organic, it's flipping exhausting. So I completely understand. It's so tiring, and it's so worth it. And that's one of the reasons that I think it's so important to be patient and kind to people in this space, because there's some people that, one, cannot afford to get the best and the biggest of everything. And then there's some people that just don't care. They've decided that they're going to eat non-organic. That's 100% on them. They get to deal with the consequences. They are the ones that get to deal with the fallout of that. Lindsay and I talked about that in one of the last videos that I did. And I love the way that she said that. You know, I married a competent human being who is able to make his own decisions and will take responsibility for the consequences of his actions. And I think that I'm noticing more and more and more that we have to allow people to make that choice, because it's almost impossible to be healthy. It's almost impossible to be perfect. If you're living in a city and you're not filtering your water, or if you are filtering your water, but you didn't realize that your filter doesn't deal with fluoride, or there's so many things. So I really hope that people can start being, I have like hair on my lip, start being really gracious with one another, because it's so hard. Some people are on a fixed income. So eating keto alone is really hard on a fixed income. So if you got to do it in kind of a crappy roundabout way, then you got to do it in a crappy roundabout way. There's, not much you can do about it. But gluten-free, dye-free, it's so hard. It's so hard. Oh, good. You got a notification. I have to take allergy pills. I have no choice. Tried to manage it naturally, born with a deviated septum, so I can't try to fix it naturally. So I take allergy meds. Exactly. Then you've got stuff like that where physical deviated septum, it doesn't matter how healthy you are. For some people, it's not enough. And you have to rely on medication. You have to rely on sometimes surgery. And I wish it wasn't so hard. I wish it wasn't so hard to be healthy. I wish it wasn't so hard to get raw milk. I shouldn't have to drive for 4 or 5 hours to get raw milk to try it for the first time. And Lord knows I'm not going to do that once a week when I need to go get more milk. So it's just, it's sad that this is where we're at. Oh, Wendy, I take it back. Apparently, that's funny. Hi, Yvette. Yeah, and that's what Kimberly and Briar Rose. You do you. That's why my saying is progress is better than perfection, and you do you, because no judgment. You don't judge me, and I will not judge you. If you ask me for my opinion, I will give it to you. You may not like it, but I will give it to you. So be careful if you're going to ask me for my opinion, because I'll give it to you. We don't buy it over the counter. We have a prescription that the pharmacy fills for us. Ooh, I wonder if that's any better. Cough due to allergies. I have to take allergy medicine. I have for years. I did in California. I was on 2 Zyrtec a day, like 20 milligrams a day in California. But then when I went keto and or carnivore, it helped clear things up a lot. Then I didn't have to take as much. But like my nose is dripping right now. I don't know how many tissues. It's very sad. I mean, I just learned about them, trying to figure out what's different than making regular hamburgers. I don't know. I'm going to Google it. What's a smash burger? Just a smash burger. Oh, the pictures. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Let me click on one of these that say unsubscribe from all. Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately too. My email keeps blowing up. What is a smash burger? Hey, it's actually an option when you Google. No, not what is smash burger. What is a smash burger? Smash burgers versus regular burgers. Blackstone products. It's a Blackstone thing? Interesting. Burgers have been around for centuries. Nobody knows exactly how they were created. What are smash burgers? Smash burgers, I don't want to join, are just what they name burgers that have been smashed. Okay. When you press down on a burger with a bacon press or a spatula, it improves contact of the meat with the heat source. Some saying the smashing intensifies the flavor. Others say it leaks out juices. Huh. So it's just you take a chunk of meat and you throw it down on your Blackstone, because I would not recommend doing this on our traditional grill with the slats. That would be bad. You throw it down on there and then you smash it. That would be so much easier. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen my video where Noah and I make burgers. It takes us 30 minutes probably to make, okay, it takes him 30 minutes to make a dozen burgers because he's a little slow and they don't super stay together great. That would probably be a lot easier. I bet you it would be. But I don't have a Blackstone. I have a Blackstone at the lodge where I work during deer season. I asked for it and he got it for me. So that's fun. So I get to cook on a Blackstone. But I don't eat off the Blackstone because it's for them. So I seasoned it with canola oil, Crisco. So I don't eat off of it because seed oils and me do not mix. So that is a smash burger. I did not know that that's what a smash burger was, but it makes sense. That's what a smash burger is. Oh, that breeze. I have my window open right behind the computer. It feels absolutely fantastic. Yes, my dog loves pressure cooked bones. Yeah. I'll have to ask Nisha. I don't know what that was. It was interesting. It's just too much and we can only do our best. Yes, but so much. CJ's Keto Kitchen on YouTube did a great video making a keto on a budget. You buy what you can afford and start with that. I am actually going to do a video, a carnivore or keto. I mean, the difference between carnivore and keto is that you add sides with keto or sauces. So carnivore or keto on a budget with Fit Girl Jules over on Instagram. So we're going to make that video probably this week, maybe tomorrow. I'm going to see if she can do tomorrow, actually, because then that can be my recipe for Tuesday, because I need to record a recipe for Tuesday. I should do that. And I haven't done anything new because I have had no desire to do anything new because we have been ridiculously busy. Got a notification and exactly right. You did what you could. Yeah, I got a notification like 3 minutes before the live was about to start. Okay, so that's probably because 3 minutes before the live was about to start, I was sitting here like taking my thumbnail and putting it in, and then it said, when do you want to go live? 2:55, and I said, no, 3 o'clock, and then I hit okay. So that's probably why you got the notification. So I can always come in here like 10 minutes early and set it up and say I'm going to go live at 3, and then everyone maybe will get a notification 10 minutes early. I'll do that now. We'll try that, and I'll sign up for a text thing because I don't know what to do. Yeah. Kimberly says exactly, works well in a cast iron pan too. Some restaurants here where I am do that. Yeah. I might have to try that. Just discovered Costco's Angus burgers. Yes, Costco has got some amazing food. I did not grow up with a Costco. I thought Costco and Sam's Club were the same thing. They are not. They are not the same thing. They're similar, but they are not the same thing. Sam's Club really has better, like, things, not food items. They have some good food items, but I think Costco definitely has the better selection of food. They have keto. They have all kinds of stuff, and they've got a lot, forgive me, vegan options. Just they like to try to have a lot of options ready for everybody. We have humidity here in Vancouver, Canada. Fans on. Yeah, it was a little humid yesterday. It was like, ooh, it's going to be an interesting summer. I'm very much looking forward to being able to go and get in my creek. It's going to be fantastic. I am very ready for that. That's a rooster. Always. Let me see. I've been doing research on how to cook chicken in the oven wrapped in bacon, because even with the skin, chicken needs more fat. Agreed. I usually drizzle tallow or bacon grease or something on top of it because it does not have a lot of fat. Cast iron smash burgers work really well. Wendy, gonna come over and cook me a smash burger? Huh? That's what you're gonna do. Wendy is in my Mighty Network, and we also went to the, what was it called? Can't remember the name of it. Adapt Your Life Academy, Adapt Your Life event in Georgia. So I got to meet Wendy there. That was fun. I will definitely be taking more of those trips while we can, especially now that Richard's working, we can afford it. So I'm actually going to be going to the Metabolic Health Summit in Santa Barbara, May 4th through the 9th. I just reserved my ridiculously expensive hotel room. I need to get a rental car, though. I don't think I've been that yet. Oh, I should do that. Low carb Leanna. Thank you. Yeah, I need to do that. That might be bad. I might be taking Ubers everywhere, but my plane gets in at like 10 o'clock at night. We'll see. We shall see. Sockeye salmon is my favorite. Salmon actually sounds really good. I should go pull some out. Thank you for the idea. Hello, should you go lower on fat if you have a lot of fat to lose? No. There is a lot of people who try the PSMF who try to go lower fat because there's a saying out there that if you are already high fat, all you need is the low carb. And a lot of people do not add fat, and they actually restrict the fat. I did the same thing. I did the PSMF, which is protein sparing modified fasting, which is where you eat a lot of protein and very, very little fat. And for some people, it absolutely works. And for other people, it is a terrible thing, because what ends up happening is when you're going to use your fat cells for fuel, what a lot of people run into is that they have toxins stored in their fat cells. So when you release the fat from those fat cells to be able to use as energy, because you're not eating enough and you're not bringing in enough, your body then has to deal with all of those toxins that are released as well. And so sometimes for some people, if they do it too many days in a row, they do it too long, too often, they really suffer from that. So for me, if I don't keep my fat intake up, my mental health will absolutely plummet. However, my cousin does fantastic with protein sparing modified fasting days. She does really, really well with adding 1 to 2 days a week where she does very, very low fat and very high protein. She feels fantastic with those. I absolutely cannot do that. I've seen a lot of people that can lose weight on the protein sparing and a lot of people that can lose weight by upping their fat. So you do not have to reduce your fat in order to lose fat. What you have to do is to play around with it. I always recommend that people start with a 1-to-1 ratio. And that's not going to be, so if you look at the Carb Manager app, that is not going to be half of the pie chart is blue for protein and the other half is yellow for fat. Because if you do a 1-to-1 protein to fat ratio, because protein only has 4 calories or 4 calories per gram, 4 grams per calorie. Wow. Fat has 9. So it's going to be like way over here. So you're going to have still, it's going to look like 70 or so % fat to 30% protein. That's generally what a 1-to-1 looks like. See how you feel from there. If you are not moving, then you can try going higher fat. You can try going lower fat. You can try going higher protein. You can try going lower protein. What tends to be the biggest culprit, and I hate to use this as the term, but calories. I would much rather say energy than calories because calories are a misnomer. We are not closed systems. If I could give you a piece of steak and I knew because I had calculated and there was a way to figure out exactly how many calories this exact piece of steak has in it, then I could give it to you. And if you were a closed system, then I would know exactly how your body's going to use it. But we're not closed systems. We are open systems. We can get energy from just being outside and grounding and from the sun along with our food. So there's a lot of nuances to our bodies. So calories are kind of a misnomer. However, calories are an important thing for people who tend to undereat and people who are overeating. You have to have some kind of understanding where you are at. Because if you are over consuming your food, over consuming energy, over consuming building blocks, you will store some of it. If you are under consuming, then your body is going to lower its metabolic rates down and you're not going to turn over protein. You're not going to grow new skin cells. You're not going to grow a whole bunch of these other things and change things the way that you should. So knowing how much you're eating, unfortunately, for a lot of people is very important. I've actually worked with quite a few people recently over in the Mighty Network where they were just eating until they were full and they thought they were good, but they were either gaining weight or not losing weight. So just for kicks and giggles, I was like, why don't you just track for like a day, 1 day, just plug it into the app. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. They're playing and then see what you're at. So you can kind of get an idea of where you are. One person was really thought that they were eating exactly what they should have been eating and then plugged it in. And it was like 5,000, almost 6,000 calories. And they had no idea that it was that much. And according to what they should be consuming, it's like half of that. So they dropped it down to what it was recommended that their total daily energy expenditure be. Again, we're talking calories. Don't like to talk about calories, but units of energy is the best way to really talk about it. But yeah, so figuring out how much you're taking in can be super important. If you are not taking in enough, your body is going to lower your metabolic rate, which is your metabolism as well as everything that you need to be able to function and turn over new cells. So making sure that you're eating enough and then playing with those ratios once you know that you're getting enough food. That is super important, is making sure that you're getting enough because most of us women are not getting enough. I have to intentionally eat enough all the time. If I lived on my own, I'd shop at Costco. I live with roommates, so no room for that much. Yeah, that's sad. I know how you feel. I find good stuff at Walmart and a couple of other stores near me. I have nothing against Walmart. I shop at Walmart all the time. I shop at Walmart. I shop at Aldi's. I shop at Pick and Save. I shop at Piggly Wiggly. I shop at Costco. I shop at way too many stores probably, but I know at Woodman's, there's a Woodman's in Appleton. It's like a huge store. I shop there and they have so many different things to choose from, but I go to each store for certain items. Yeah. I like both stores, but I find the same. Yeah. I was in a stall for 8 months. I finally upped my fat and lost 4 pounds in 3 weeks. Yeah. Sometimes you're just not eating enough and that's what makes the difference, or you don't have enough fat. Yes, I love the grass-fed butter and hamburger patties at Costco. It is my theory that women especially need lots of healthy fat in order to heal hormones. Yes. And just support them in general before the body fat will leave. However, still waiting. There are several people over in the Mighty Network who have been carnivore or keto for a long time, a very long time, and they are not healing. So those are the ones that have to take it another step further. Those are the ones that sometimes food isn't enough and you have to take an allergy pill, but for other things, you know what I'm saying. Vicky, you're welcome. Kizzy, I was doing 1-to-1, but went to 2-to-1. I was doing 50 protein, 15 fat. Oh yes, talking about fat. 50 protein is really low. Like, unless you are a tiny human being, 50 protein, I'm just going to throw that out there, is really, really low. I shoot for 115 grams of protein a day. I'm 5'8". I weigh 166 pounds. Scale's just consistently, very slowly going up. I haven't changed anything. I haven't done anything. Actually, I've added exercise. So maybe that's it. But yeah, no, my scale is very slowly going up. So, but I shoot for 115 grams of protein. 50 is pretty low. We hear you. Post-menopause, they recommended it 1,400 to 1,600 calories, which is where I feel satiated. Is this okay, or should I strive for higher? Honestly, I like to see women closer to 2,000. Really, truly, unless you are a tiny individual. But I mean, Danny is pretty, she is not as tall as me. She's pretty tiny. She eats 2,000 calories a day. She's been doing this for like 15 years. So she is definitely further along in her process. I mean, she's got it pretty dialed in, but she still does experiments all the time. Like, she's like, okay, we're going to go dairy free for this much because this marker is off in my blood and I want to fix it. And then we're going to try this. And y'all, I'm sorry. My roosters. I really think if you could reverse diet up to like 1,800 calories, that would probably be better. It would probably raise your metabolism up if you could get up that high. And then in raising your metabolism, you would be able to burn more fat because your metabolism is working faster. So once you get up to, I'm going to have to shut the window, I think. I think I might have to shut the window. Or send a kid out there to chase the roosters away. Oh my gosh. I should tell her, let the dogs out for a minute. Yeah, I really would say it would probably be better if you were a little bit higher than that. Because that's questionable. Danny is not a big person. And she does about 2,000. I know a lot of women who are not big people, and they try to do like 2,000 for optimal hormone function and bodily function. Plus, higher fat is so good for my hormones. Yes, higher fat, good for the hormones. If I eat under 1,600, I feel lost and not at my best. Honestly, I think I'm probably about the same, where if I eat under that, I'm just kind of more lethargic and I don't actually sleep as well and I don't feel as good, but I'm just so bad about eating. But not today. Today I did good. I eat around 18 to 2,000 a day. Yeah, that's my problem. I don't eat enough. I do not eat enough. And right now I am using a trick in the morning. For some people, coffee is an appetite suppressant. For me, it actually helps ramp up my appetite. And so for someone who doesn't eat enough, it works really well. I am using keto sweeteners right now, but I'm not going to continue using the keto sweeteners starting May 1st. And I will talk about that as soon as I get through the rest of the questions real quick. And then I have some announcements for everybody. Oh, yes, Kizzy, you lost 44 pounds doing the 18 to 2,000 calories a day. Yeah, a lot of the time. I know it's completely counterintuitive, but eating too little will cause you not to lose because your body's like, well, if I can't trust you to provide me with what I need, then I'm going to hang on to something for a rainy day because I don't trust you. It's very rude. Too much fat in my diet really affects my digestion. Because I have IBS, so I do moderate higher fat protein. Moderate fat, higher protein for keto. I have to watch my fiber intake too. Yes, and I know some people who have tried the higher fat and they feel absolutely horrible. And they're the ones that need the higher protein. So it's so hard. It's like I can tell you where to start. Start here. And then go from there and adjust up, adjust down, and see, and give it like a good week or two to see if you notice a difference. And then if you feel really, really bad, then change it in a different direction. But if you start to feel better, then you can keep it that way. Super hard to eat enough meat and fat, but I'm doing my best. It is so hard. But today I had, I think it was 8 ounces of sirloin steak with grilled mushrooms on top of it and 5 chicken flats. I did hot wings. So that was lunch, and I will eat more for dinner. I think my reverse dieting is working. It's taking. I'm actually more hungry during the day, and that has been fantastic. Yesterday, I ate 15 chicken wings, not the whole wings, just the flats. I'm not that cool yet, but I actually got it. I was so happy. What app do I use to track food and macros? I like Carb Manager. There are a lot of opinions on the best one. A lot of people like Chronometer. A lot of people like MyFitnessPal. I'm going to shut my window now because, oh my gosh, give me a second. Hopefully it's a little bit better now. I like Carb Manager, and that's because I've been using it for years. But when I looked at the two, it just seemed more user-friendly, and it had a larger database of items in it. Every time I went to go use, when I was using Chronometer, and it could be totally different now, but when I went to use Chronometer, they have like, little barcodes on something, and you'll scan it with the app. Chronometer, 50% of the time it said not found. Whereas in Carb Manager, it was probably about 80% of the time that it was found. And so I could input it that way. So that's why I went with Carb Manager. Whichever one you want to use, just be consistent and use the same one over and over and over again, because there are differences in the apps themselves. I'm supposed to be about 1,800 calories a day. I basically eat until satiated and make sure I got enough water with electrolytes, and it seems to work. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's broke, then do something about it, and that's fine. I had a learning curve, but most accurate that I find. Yeah, if you like Chronometer, yeah, try them all out. I think MyFitnessPal may have a free trial. I'm not sure. Try them all out. See which one fits you the best. Doing better with eating more protein by having more than one kind on my plate. Yes, that can absolutely help. We have a steak and leftover chicken wings for lunch. We had the same thing, Cindy. Steak and leftover chicken wings. No 50 in ratio. I don't know what that means. How do you feel about Paul Saladino adding fruit and honey? So Paul, I love Paul. And I think that he is doing what works for him. And I think that there are a number of people who actually do potentially need to bring in fruit and honey. And the reason I say this is because some people have a really hard time utilizing ketones for fuel. And some people cannot balance their electrolytes. So Paul, for over a year, kept trying to balance his electrolytes without the carbs, and he could not do it. Heart palpitations, muscle cramps, like severe Charlie horses jumping up in the middle of the night out of bed. If you're not getting sleep for a year because of your muscle cramps, something's got to give. And sometimes drinking electrolytes and taking supplements isn't enough because you're not able to balance them. I mean, he's a doctor. So for him to say that he truly couldn't balance his electrolytes, I'm not going to say that no, you're wrong. You didn't do it right. I mean, I've worked with Paul before. I have no problem with him doing that. He has to understand the consequences of his actions. He is living somewhere that the fruit is literally growing on the tree outside of his door. He is living in a place where the GMOs have not been used nearly as profusely as they are here. He's living in a place that does not have the pesticides, the herbicides, the fungicides sprayed on his property, on his stuff that he's going out and eating. As for the honey, I think he's getting like what's it called? Manuka? Something. I can't remember. But it's like the really expensive honey. Paul is going to do what Paul's going to do. And I do believe that there are some people, because I have seen them, I've had them over in my Mighty Network, that could not use ketones for fuel properly. And their bodies actually began to start breaking down muscle because it couldn't use the ketones. So I do believe that it is a thing. And I do believe that you have the option to do that. I just also believe, for lack of a better term, in informed consent. You need to understand that our fruit here is not natural. It is not the way that nature intended it. It has been crossbred and GMO'd to be bigger, brighter, juicier, sweeter. And it's been sprayed with who knows how many things. Even the organic stuff can be sprayed with pesticides and herbicides in certain forms, and they still consider it to be organic. So you get to make that decision for you. I tried the fruit and the honey, and oh my word, it was a disaster. After a week, I was a hot mess. Like, I would be sitting in a chair, just moping and sitting there and just not feeling good. And Richard would walk by and go, "Hey, babe, what do you want for dinner?" I would lose it. I would literally start bawling because I would feel like I'm a failure. I haven't figured out what's for dinner yet. I don't know where we're going to, I would lose it. That is not okay. And I started the carbs again because my hair kept falling out, and someone said, "You got to add the carbs back in. That means you're not using ketones." So I tried it. It was horrid. It was absolutely horrid. So I tried it, and I encourage everyone, if you are at a place where you could try that and then come back from it if it doesn't work, you can try it and see, because I know some people who feel incredible. Sally Norton, she tried carnivore. She is one of those people. She could not use ketones for fuel properly. She had to bring rice back in. She had to bring some other things back in order for her to function. Again, that woman is ridiculously smart. I'm not going to tell her that she's wrong. I think she found what works for her. I mean, look at Paul. I can't tell him he's wrong. His blood numbers look fantastic. His body looks great. So I think that there are times and places where those kinds of things happen because, like Nisha says it all the time, we are not all the same. One size does not fit all. We have to find what works for us. So I want you to take everything that you see every one of us in this space doing with a grain of salt, because it may not work for you. Your situation is going to be a little bit different, but I'm not going to tell Paul that he's wrong, because obviously he's doing better. Oh, Allie, you're little. Obviously he's doing better with the fruit and the honey than he did without the fruit and the honey. I tried the fruit and the honey, and I turned into a mental basket case. So I was not doing better. I had to go back to my pretty darn low carb way. So right now I'm using dairy as my carbs, basically. And that actually did help quite a bit. So that, I broke up Start Where. Oh, that is so sad. Doesn't surprise me that I broke up. Where is it? Oh, I lost it. There we go. Okay, tracking everything drives me crazy. In all honesty, I do more what Indigo Neely does, makes food, eats it till she's full, and then drinks when thirsty. And for some people, that absolutely works. If it works for you, I wouldn't track. So, unless you're like type A personality where you have to know, don't even bother. If it's working for you, then fantastic. It wasn't working for me. My hair was falling out. I wasn't eating enough. Yeah, so that's what I know. You love hearing my roosters. I think they all left. Ooh, maybe I should open my window again because it's actually getting warm in here. 5'4" medium frame. However, I cannot remember I cannot remember ever eating more than that. That's a lot of food. So eat more fat or protein. I would say 1-to-1. 1-to-1 and work on getting your calories up very slowly. Kim Howerton actually talks about reverse dieting. Vanessa Spina talks about reverse dieting, where you increase very slowly your calories so that you can get your metabolism up. But if you jump up too fast, if you just start like shoving food into your face continually, you will gain weight. Now, you have the option to do that. That is what Kelly Hogan did. That is what Steak and Butter Gal did. That is what they did. And they were okay with it. It was hard, but they did it because their healing was more important than taking the slow route. They wanted results and they had the type of personality to be able to handle that. So that's what they did. So you absolutely have the choice. You can jump right in and go up to that and just eat there. You're going to gain weight. It's going to be okay. Eventually you will hopefully slow down. And do know some people who don't, but those are very few and far between. So, slowly working up is my choice. I am slowly working up and I think it's working. I'm so excited. My dog is totally looking for those roosters. Maybe I should open the window again so we can keep bugging your dog. I don't know what my dogs are like. What is that? It's my computer. Kimberly said I'm 5'6" and 3/4. Oh, almost 5'7". Yes. If you like take a breath and stretch, you'd be 5'7". Do I do counseling online? Yes, I do. So I have a couple of, so it's been like almost an hour. I should get to that. I have some announcements. I do counseling, coaching online. And let me see, getting back to where it was. There we go. There's a couple of options. You can hire me one-on-one. You can go to carnivoresangel.com. And that's where my plans are for one-on-one coaching. Or you could join the Mighty Network. This is my biggest announcement. I think in like 2 days, I'm going to be ready to launch the free platform of the Mighty Network. So it will be free to absolutely anybody who wants to come in. It's kind of like Facebook, but without the social media of all the other junk that's in there as well. So this would be my group where you guys can come in and you can hang out with other people. You can post recipes, you can post questions, you can post pictures, you can do all of that. It would be completely for free. Once a month, you guys would be able in the free area to come in to a Zoom call. Now, I have a VIP section as well. Now, the VIP section, that is $30 a month, and that you get 4 Zoom calls a week. I am at all 4 of those, and then Danny is at half of those as well. And then I have moderators that come in and help out with things too. We have special guest speakers once, twice, sometimes 3 times a month that come in, and we do a special viewing of a documentary in the VIP section. That is only $30 a month. That is a third, less than a third, of what it costs for 1 month of one-on-one coaching with me. Most people do not need like super strict one-on-one, I want you to do everything for me. Most people could go into the Mighty Network and learn from everyone else. Because what happens in these meetings is that someone will ask a question. I'll answer it out to the main forum. I'll answer it to everybody so everybody gets to learn from it. So in the free area, there's actually going to be replays from the past several months that we have been up and running. And you guys would be able to watch the replays of the one video a month that's in there in that area. Then there's the back in the VIP section, those replays are going to be, they're all from April. I do have everything saved back to December, but my internet is so terrible that I can't upload them. So I'm going to have to go somewhere where I have really good internet and then do it that way. But I think it's going to be like 2 days is all I need to launch the free aspect of the Mighty Network. So that is super close to being done. I will post it on, hi Neely. I'm going to post it on YouTube. I'm going to post it in Instagram, and I'm going to post it on Facebook so that anyone who wants to join the free area of the Mighty Network is going to be able to do that. Now, on that topic, we are also going to have a 75 hard group in the Mighty Network. So I'm going to have a free area, which costs nothing, 75 hard, which if you want to do just that, that's going to be $15 for the entire 75 days, or the VIP section, which is $30 a month. If you're a VIP, you would get 75 hard as well. So 75 hard, if you've never heard of it, is a program where you guys would get to pick, but there's 5 things that you have to do. You have to pick a diet and stick to it for 75 days. So if you say, okay, well, I'm keto now and I'm going to go carnivore for 75 days. If you get 2 weeks in and you mess up when you have a salad, whether it's planned or not planned, if you choose to do it, it's extremely strict. It's all honor-based. It's all on you. So you get to decide what you're going to do. And the reason for this is it actually helps you develop discipline. It's for nothing else than for you to learn how to be very, very disciplined. And it's all honor-based. So the 5 things are choosing your own diet, whatever that diet is going to be. You're going to stick to it for 75 days. So if you have 1 chocolate chip and that's not on your plan, you start back over again. You have to drink a gallon of water every day. Fun times. It's not going to kill you for 75 days. Then you're going to exercise twice a day, not consecutively, for 45 minutes. 1 inside, 1 outside. The purpose of this is to be uncomfortable. The purpose of this is to be hard, because then when you can overcome and do hard things, then it gives you those tools and those coping mechanisms for when things come up in life that you're not expecting, that you're not ready for. It helps you to learn how to handle those things better so that you can take hard things and you can function better with them. So then you would have to do the 2 exercises. You have to read 10 pages of a self-improvement nonfiction book every single day. And you have to take 1 picture, 1 selfie, 1 progress picture every single day for 75 days. Y'all, I am not looking forward to it, but I'm really looking forward to it. At first, I came up with every reason that I couldn't do it because I was like, no, that is dumb. I can't do that. No, I'm not going to. No, I couldn't. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I am going to do this, because then when I do it, I'm going to be so proud of myself for actually getting through it, that I think it's going to add a whole new layer, a whole new level. So I have every intention of doing it. Manuka, honey, thank you. That is what is coming up. We're going to start that May 1st. So you don't have to be a part of the VIPs for that. You could pay for that program separately. We're going to have a Zoom meeting on May 1st, where we're going to go over what I just went over. And we're just going to help keep each other accountable. How you do, and if you're having a hard time, oh my gosh, I really want this one thing and I'm here, somebody help. It'll pop up in the Mighty Network and it'll message everybody, and everyone can be like, no, you got this, 75 days, you can do it for 75 days. You do not have to, you can wait that long, just to get a little bit of encouragement. It's tough. And I really want to try to challenge myself, because I can come up with excuses of why I can't do a million things. And I don't want to do that. I want to grow in my discipline as well. I have so much stuff that I have to do on a daily basis, and I'm not always fantastic about doing it. So I'm going to do the 75 challenge as well. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, so I think those were my main announcements that I wanted to make about the Mighty Network. I'm so close, guys. I'm so excited.
Okay, they play games.
Yes, offline. Kizzy says tracking keeps me accountable, and I like knowing where knowing where and when I'm low in things. It sounds like you had a couple of roosters who are having a crowing competition always. My roosters are crazy. Cindy, I totally have a thing for mixing meats and taste and texture. Yes, you broke up. Start where? I don't know. I keep breaking up, apparently. I broke up. Start where? I would start 1-to-1. Fat to protein, start there, and then get up to the calories that you should have. You go to a total daily energy expenditure calculator online, TDEE, to get an idea of about how many calories, I hate calories, units of energy, how much energy your body needs every day. That'll give you an idea of how much you should be eating. I'm supposed to be eating anywhere from 18 to 2200, depending on my activity level. So I'm working on getting up to that. High fat bothers my IBS as well. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Recently tracked a couple of days. I was at 18 to 2000. I've honestly never really figured out the ratio. Keep carbs under 20. There you go. And for some people, that is more than enough. So if you are one of those people, fantastic. Yeah, so try higher protein and watch the fiber. Don't do too much of both in one day. Choose either. Will I have fats today or veggies today? Yes, carbs, and because fiber is a carb, whether you want to believe it or not, fiber is a carb. Carbs and fat are levers for energy, and you want to use those not together. You don't ever want them both up because that's too much fuel, and it's always going to burn the carbs first and store the fat. So if you're going to have higher carbs, you want to have lower fat. So if you're one of those people who likes to do the PE diet, the protein energy ratio diet, you get to choose where your energy comes from. Totally up to you. That is what I do, but I'm carnivore right now, so no fiber. Yeah, I don't do fiber. I cannot handle fiber. If you eat the protein on your plate first, it helps keep you from overeating the carbs. We had green beans with bacon. I only had enough. I had something green on the plate. It was nice. My Fitness Pal has a free section. I think the macro calculator costs money. So try Chronometer, Carb Manager, My Fitness Pal. Try them all. See which one you like the best. You're late, Jill, but that's okay. Hi. Manuka honey is medicine. Don't enjoy the flavor. Yeah, that some people, that it's totally different for everyone. So if you can get Manuka honey, if you can afford Manuka honey, then you do that. Let me see. Oh, does anyone share what 75 hard means? I did it. Yay me. Okay. Thanks. It just sucks with no cheese, right? Dairy is, you know what stinks, guys, is that dairy is actually more addicting than gluten is. And we all know how addicting gluten is. Just keep in mind, dairy is to make baby animals as big as fast as possible. So isolate dairy. Probably not. Okay, so Briar Rose, does 75 hard mean no coffee? That is up to you. You literally get to choose the entire thing. You get to choose what exercises you're going to do. If you can barely stand up out of bed, you're obviously not going to go run a marathon for your exercise. So you get to choose what you do. You get to choose exactly what your diet's going to be. If you wanted to go vegan, if you want to go carnivore, if you wanted to go sad, it's supposed to be a healthy diet, but you get to choose. So if you think that you should give up coffee, even though you really don't want to, then maybe that's what you should do. So like me, I'm going to go without sweetener. I always put sweetener in my coffee because I like sweetener in my coffee, but I'm going to get rid of sweetener in my coffee for 75 days because it's going to make it harder. And who knows, I may decide that I don't even like coffee without sweetener and I'll give up the coffee too. 75 hard begins May 1st. And I'm going to make an announcement. I'm going to make a video and I will put it up. Hopefully I didn't like lose everybody. If all of a sudden I get really bad signal, then somebody text me and tell me that my signal is really bad. I am going to do a video beforehand to let everyone know that it is available up in the Mighty Network starting May 1st. And that's when we're going to do it. We're going to have a half-hour meeting, a half-hour Zoom meeting on May 1st, probably 6 o'clock. What day is May 1st? Let me see. Hang on. I got to make sure before. May 1st is, it's next Sunday. So I'll probably do it like 6 o'clock at night, my time, Central Standard Time. So then we'll go over everything of how it's supposed to go. You can have the book. You don't have to have the book. There's a podcast you can listen to. Yeah. So you can make the decision if you want to join in and do it with us in the Mighty Network. But that's where the Zoom call is going to be, is in the Mighty Network. I should probably let you guys go because it's been over an hour. Unless you hang out for a little while longer. So you guys can let me know. Do you want me to stay? Or should we wrap it up and be done? Because I have a little bit of time. So it's up to you. I'm kind of wondering if I lost signals. Stay. Okay. I can stay. I will keep going through. Okay, I'll keep going through. Oh, lots of hearts. Let me see. What kind of taste does what have? Oh, the honey. Yeah, the honey is intense. It's very intense. It does kind of taste more like medicine. So, yes, making the egg white crackers. All individual, lots of long-term keto people adding in a bit of carbs to fix thyroid. Paul, Christina Oman, Strong Sisters. Yeah. And then there's Kelly Hogan. And then there's what's his name? Sean Baker. And then there's these other people that have been doing carnivore for decades, and they're perfectly fine. They have no thyroid problems. They have no other issues. They don't have to add in the carbs. So you have to figure out where you are, because if your body is more damaged, if you had exposure to mold, if you have had exposure to toxic medicines like Accutane, hi, that would be me, then you have to figure out what's going to work for you. That's just all there is to it. Can't be dogmatic. We are all different. Yeah, exactly. And I do not appreciate when people are judged for what they do and where they are at, because you just do not understand what someone else is going through. Plain and simple, you don't understand. I think Manuka tree is where they get the tea tree oil. I think that's eucalypt. No. Eucalyptus? No. Melaleuca. I think that's it. Tea tree and Melaleuca are the same, I think. Melaleuca, not Manuka. Yeah. Oh, that's what the honey tastes like to you? You know what? You're right. It does kind of have it's almost like a eucalyptus type scent. Yeah, I agree with that. How did Sally know that she couldn't use ketones properly? Was she always exhausted, or did her hormones tank? I think both, honestly. When we had her, I did a video with her and she talks about it a little bit. We also had her over in the Mighty Network and she visited there as well. And she talked about it there as well, that she believes everyone needs more carbs. I disagree with that. Kelly Hogan obviously is doing just fine without her carbs. Danny Conway, the other coach in my Mighty Network that I've had on the channel several times, she's doing just fine without all the carbs. So I think it's just individualized. But yeah, she ended up having to go back to the rice. The rice was very uninflammatory for her. Sally is extremely fit and healthy right now. All of her blood markers are beautiful. Her brain, her mental health is fantastic. That's where she fits. I will not judge. I got no right doing that. Because if I do it to you, then you get to do it to me. Please don't do that to me. I do up to 40 carbs per meal, carbs that don't cause me inflammation. Yes, big key. And strictly keep it under 40, protein first, always. Yeah, so no more than 80 carbs a day for you. And honestly, I consider that low carb with no qualms whatsoever. Even Paul Saladino says anything under 100. He's like, yeah, I think that's perfectly acceptable for many people. He goes, I think you got to earn it if it's over 100. That's what Paul says. I like that. I could go with that. I took out the dairy for this month and my psoriasis is a little better, but I miss the cheese. I love cheese. I know. It really is kind of an addiction. Just a little bit. I'm having a hard time eating enough fat and also experiencing meat and egg aversion. Any tips? So when I did that, I'm not sure how you're eating, Mary. I'm assuming that's Mary. I'm not sure what you're eating, if you're carnivore or if you're keto. When I started having the meat and egg aversions, it was when I was carnivore, because I was trying to carnivore harder, because everyone was telling me I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't doing it hard enough. And if I just got rid of everything else, then I would be great. So that's what I went through. I went through the meat and egg aversions because it was all I was eating. Sorry, excuse me. It was all I was eating. And I wasn't adding spices. I wasn't adding enough butter. I wasn't adding other things. So when I started adding spices and keto sauces back in, I was able to eat all of those things, because you can take your ground beef and you can turn it into Greek, or you can turn it into chili, or you can turn it into dill pickle or ranch. You can add so many things to it to completely change the flavor of it. And then I also add things like the protein sparing modified fasting bread, my Hawaiian sweet rolls. They are processed. Yes, they are. And I'm okay with that, because Sometimes if the difference is I can eat a burger on a bun, or I'm not going to eat like but half the patty and I'm going to gag that down as it is. I'm going to eat the bun. I'm going to eat the protein sparing bun because that is going to be more important. It's made out of protein. Yes, it's processed because it's dried egg whites, which are then ground up. It does make a difference. But I think, and I made the choice to eat the processed food over not eating food, period. So for me, it's like adding mushrooms to my steak. If I add mushrooms to my steak, then I can eat the whole steak. If I have just the steak, I'm not eating the whole steak, whether I put seasoning or salt or butter on it. But when I add the mushrooms, it completely changes all of that. So sometimes just adding little things that you can find that work for you. If you can have dairy, you can do a little bit of cheese on top of it. Something like that might help quite a bit. So, oh, somebody gave me a thing. Thank you. Thank you, Kizzy. That is so cute. Oh, that is precious. Oh, and Cassia. Oh, you gave me a sticker too. Thank you. You know what, guys? Those are my first ones ever. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. That is so cool. You guys are going to make me cry. Seriously. Oh, bacon, or add bacon on everything. Put bacon on everything. I'm trying to find where I was. Tired of chicken. Oh, seriously. Yeah. Pretty much eating it now. We'll try more seafood, pads of butter. Yes. How are we doing 75 hard? I'm sorry. Apparently I missed some of these. Challenge yourself in life, and no challenge is going to be challenging beyond yourself. Yes. It's, and you're never going to be able to control everything in your life. And so if you can learn how to handle hard situations with grace, and then it changes things. It gives you a power that you never used to have before. And I need that right now because the world is going crazy. My life is going crazy. We've got so much stuff going on, and I want to be able to handle it well. And I think that discipline would be a super good thing for me. As much as I don't want to do it, I really want to do it. So I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. I've never been a meat eater my whole life. I find it so hard to just eat meat. I am so sorry. Yeah, that I've heard that my cousin and her family were vegan for 3 years because she watched an animal die on the side of the road, a very tragic and horrible death. And she was like, we're never eating animals again. But then their health really tanked. And that is what made the difference for them, was that she saw her family getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And so for them, it was more important for them to learn how to eat meat with they're not carnivore, they're keto. They eat it with the almond flour. They eat it with the spinach. They eat it with all the high oxalate stuff. They get to choose. They get to choose to do that. And they will deal with the consequences and the fallout. I've told her, there's these things called oxalates. You might want to watch out for them. But they get to do that because they're grown adults and they get to learn to deal with the consequences. So sometimes for some people, it doesn't work to go carnivore because you can't stand meat. But you can eat meat if it's covered in cheese and sauce and wrapped in a PSMF tortilla. That works. If you can hide it, then sometimes it's what you got to do. So hopefully you can find a way to enjoy meat. You don't have to go super strict carnivore. It's okay. My cat, my condolences, and I totally sympathize. I did the exact same thing except for Fergie. My issue is bloat, and I love dairy. It hates me. I have not given up dairy. I'm kind of thinking when I start working with Danny, I'm wondering if she's going to make me give it up for a little bit of time to see what it does. I got another one. Oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. Thank you so very much. Everybody, aw, Wendy, you're so sweet. You know what stinks? Wendy and I went to Low Carb Atlanta. We were both there, and I didn't even get a picture with her. I am so bad at pictures, guys, which is why it's a joke and a half that I'm a YouTuber. Because like my entire job revolves around pictures and videos. Yeah, I've always been horrible at that. But, yeah. I'm still doing ghee, cut out butter to see if it completely clears my psoriasis. Richard's got psoriasis, and I'm curious to see what happens when we do 75 hard. He's been eating a lot of cheese lately. He gets to choose. There's my roosters. They're coming back again. Try lactose free at Briar Roast, and switching to that, I'm fine with dairy, which is funny. Okay, I got to throw this out there. Lactose free. The reason it's labeled lactose free is that they actually add an enzyme to it called lactase, which is supposed to like eat up the lactose in the product so you don't get any of the lactose. I find that hilarious. So it's like the product still has lactose in it, but then they throw lactase in there so that it like breaks down the lactose. It's just really funny. I find it entertaining. But if it works for you, do it. Any way that you guys can find to afford it, to be able to handle it. My roosters, they're back again. I eat small pats of cold butter throughout the day to get the extra fat. Have you tried switching chicken or seafood and fish like salmon to help with the aversions? Yes. Sometimes eating a lighter form of meat, like white meats or fish, seafood, something like that can really help. Adding spices, sauces, stuff like that. Or dairy, if you can handle it. Or eating chicken. Just saying. My chicken. Everything stinks with no cheese. That's all there is to it. Okay, I covered 75 hard. I have like 3 more things to do in the Mighty Network before it's done. We have a business meeting at 7:00 my time about the Mighty Network. I'm going to like get everyone else's, yes, you did everything. Okay, let's go ahead and launch. It's going to be amazing. Are you going to do 75 hard? I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it, but I really want to do it. Yeah. Challenge yourself in life. Oh, yes, I already read that one. I took the PSMF chaffles and made them into dips, and they're like, into chips and like pita chips. Very nice. I love finding those fantastic little fun things. How about ground turkey? Are you able to tolerate some kefir, yogurt, and raw cheese? Those might help too. There's a YouTuber called Carnivore'S Chef, and he has tons of recipes too. Yes. Go figure out who's got what. And don't worry about when people say, oh, you shouldn't eat protein powder. I think in those cases, when you have a severe meat aversion, drink the protein powder. Because that's better than not eating protein from an animal source. Please try to get it from whey. Whey protein is still not fantastic, or an egg protein would be even better. But if you could not do pea protein, that would be better for you because then there's no conversion. It's easier on your body. Protein powder, a lot of people have issues with protein powder. They don't like them. It's processed. Yes, it is. But if it gets you some nutrition, then I'm all for it. You get to choose what you're going to do. You could try making the meat bars, the ground turkey or chicken. You can put it in an air fryer, kind of break them apart into little bars, sprinkle them with seasoning of your choice. And then you air fry, 400 for maybe 10 minutes. Makes them pretty darn crispy. And then they're like little bars. And then you eat them. Those are actually really good. I like to dip them in melted butter. It's really good. It's very yummy. I have a lot of histamine issues. Can't even eat pork. Yeah. Have you tried like a pasture raised fresh pork? I've heard some people say I can't have pork, but if they get it from a pasture raised local rancher that they know what they were eating, then sometimes they can handle that. I love hearing about people. I'm like, did you try it? Did it work for you? No, it didn't work for you. Okay, that's a bummer. Tracking is not the devil. And it definitely gives you a serious look into reality. It does. A lot of people that I end up working with, I'm like, you might just want to track for just today and see what happens. It's an option. I like the flavor and texture of browning ground beef and ground turkey or chicken together. It makes good meatballs too. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes just cooking meat a different way. Broiling it, doing it in the sous vide, doing it in the air fryer, cooking it in a pan, on the grill, it can change the flavor so much that it takes some sleuthing to figure out what's going to work best for you. Tracking helps me to see if I'm actually meeting the needs of my body and if I'm eating too low in fat, or not getting enough omega-3 ratio and so forth. So Kizzy, which one you're using? Chronometer, right? chronometer. I don't even know how to say it. Using that one, I think, is what you said earlier. That one, I think Card Manager, if you buy the pro version, you actually pay for it, then it'll give you the breakdown of all the micronutrients. And as for Chronometer, I don't know how that one works because I tried it years ago. I wasn't a fan of it and I just said forget it. So, oh, that sucks. Cat Nova, I can eat fresh meat with no problem and can have bacon. It's cheese, processed lunch meat. It gives you histamine reactions. Yeah. Right now, so I don't know if you guys saw, I had Amanda Radke on my channel a couple of videos ago. And I was like so amazed to hear her say, when she travels, she's like, yeah, it's cheese and deli meat. It's like, that's what I do. It's like exactly what I do. My roosters. When we're driving, then we'll stop and we'll get a rotisserie chicken from Walmart or Costco. And sometimes we'll take our own like ketchup and barbecue sauce. And then I will get salami and I'll chop it up into little rounds. And then I'll put it with like white cheddar slices and I'll break those into little quarters. And I will have an entire stack of those. And I'll sit there and I'll munch on those while I'm driving because I get really tired when I'm driving and I can't sit there and I can't eat chips and I can't eat pumpkin seeds and I can't do all the things I used to do. So now it's cheese and salami. And it works. And sometimes I'll gain some weight from it. And oh well, because it's my life and I have to figure out a way to be able to drive safely. Because when you got to drive 14 hours to go pick up kids or drop kids off, it happens and you got to find a way to make it work. My fave is meatloaf muffins with smoked paprika. So good. I'm dairy free, sadly, but doing a 3-day lemon water fast to reset everything. I hope it works. I cannot fast that long at all. So I really hope that your fast works and that you get the results that you want. Let me see. It's tough when you're already restricting what you eat in the first place, but I'm hoping I will heal and can add something back in. Exactly that, I think, is the goal. I'm going to be honest with you guys just a little bit. I do not believe that we were meant as a species on this planet to only eat meat. I think that we grew our big, beautiful brains by eating mostly meat. And I think that we also grew by eating a little bit of plant matter that wasn't poisoned or GMO'd or crossbred or sprayed with poison on its own. I think that the point was for us to thrive on meat, but still be able to have a little bit of other stuff on the side. The problem is that they totally screwed up all of our plants, all of our agriculture. And it is so hard to find something that man hasn't screwed up when it comes to the plants. And I honestly believe that one of the reasons we have celiac disease is not because of the wheat itself. Part of it is because it's been GMO'd and it has been crossbred and it's been blah, 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 blah. But I think a lot of the problem is actually the glyphosate. The glyphosate kills, they say, well, it's, it's a weed killer. So it's not actually going to hurt your body because you're not a weed. Well, we have bacteria in our bodies that are affected by glyphosate. The die-off of that bacteria is actually what can cause leaky gut. And so the glyphosate causes the leaky gut, and that's where the protein and the gluten gets into our system and our body attacks the gluten. And then we become extremely, extremely sensitive to the gluten because it's getting into our bodies where it shouldn't be. It's getting into our blood system. That's not where it should be. So I don't think that necessarily it's the wheat is the devil. I think it's the glyphosate that set it off. That is the one that struck the match that started the inferno. But it's used in everything, in so many things. And there's a lady in our homeschool co-op, and she and her whole family, it was absolutely horrible. She was pregnant and they used to live on a farm and the neighbor was spraying Roundup. They were spraying the powdered form of glyphosate on their crops, and they're never, ever, ever supposed to spray when it's windy. Well, he was behind schedule. And so it was a really windy day. He sprayed anyways. That entire cloud went up onto their farm. It got into their house. It got all over her and her children. She ended up losing the baby because of the glyphosate. That was it. That was what happened. So they are now selling that farm because he keeps doing it. The other person keeps doing it, and nobody's stopping him. So I think that stuff is like literal poison. And that is one of the reasons that we are having such a hard time with our plants, is because it's sprayed with that kind of stuff. And so animals are much safer because we haven't messed with them as much, not nearly as much. Broiler chickens are not natural. Most animals do not grow to full size in 6 months ready to be killed. And they're so fat and overweight that they have to be killed because their hearts give out. That's what happens with broiler chickens. The ones that we find, like rotisserie chickens, or the ones that make the big giant breasts that are huge. We've messed with those some, but we haven't messed with them as much as we've messed with the plants. So I think our best option is meat. And if you can find something that you can eat in the plant kingdom, then it's worth doing. I say go for it. I still love avocados, and I can eat them now, so I do. You're very welcome, Vicky. I've got the low carb cruise coming up in May. Been doing my own version of 55 hard leading up to it. No coffee, no sweeteners, no plants. That's awesome. Manuka honey is also great for scrapes and sores. I've heard that. I just haven't bought any. I think Dr. Berry said aged meat has more histamines. Yes, it does. The fresher, the less histamines, 100%. Does anyone else remember hearing this? Yes. So for some people, when they have super bad histamine issues, if you go to a local rancher, you can actually ask them and say, hey, can you not age my meat? Because normally what happens is that after the cow is slaughtered, they will hang it for 15, 14, 21, somewhere, usually it's like 14 or 21 days before they cut up the meat, package it, and give it to you. So some ranchers, some processors will actually give it to you fresh so that you don't have any of the aging whatsoever. And I do know some people that is the only way that they can ever consume beef, or that's why they do like lamb or something like that, because it's not, as I kick everything, because it's not aged, because aging does increase the histamines. Because when you hang a cow, even if it's in a cooler, it's not frozen, it's in a cooler, it will grow mold on the outside of it. And they cut the mold off and then they give you the meat from the inside. But for some people, that is just way too much of a histamine trigger for them. So yes, the fresher the meat, the better. Ooh, there's a key ring in my pocket. I found a key ring. But yeah, so no, you're absolutely right. The stuff in the store is more processed, so it will be aged. It's going to have other chemicals in it. So yeah, it's gonna cause more histamine reactions. And if you can handle it, then you can eat it. If you can't handle it, then don't eat it. And I'm sorry. Let me see. Hi, have you seen any improvements in your energy yet? Oh yes. I don't see the option to buy a bed. I don't know how any of this works. I've never bought a bed either. Dr. Berry and others have talked about it. I have Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, and PCOS, and trying to put it all in remission. Yes, that is not going to be a fast fix at all. That is going to be a minute, because it did not take you, a week to get Hashimoto's and hypothyroid or PCOS. So that is going to be a long road, a long journey to health, but it is absolutely possible. It is 100% possible. And I believe in you. I just hope that you can find what works best for you, and don't get discouraged if it takes a little while. And if maybe you need to get some other help, like having to take supplements or something like that, it does not make you a failure at all. I've seen that a lot recently, and it pushes my buttons, let me tell you. That would be a no for me. That close proximity to me, I would lick it off. Yes, love kefir and yogurt and have been consuming them. Not so crazy about the cheese. Yeah, I've been eating yogurt. Chobani Complete. They use like stevia and monk fruit to sweeten it. I think it's fantastic. I love it. Only a little sometimes, so sweet of you to ask. That's so cute. Paul Saladino seems to think everyone needs fruit now too. I like the individualized approach better. Yeah, a lot of these people, I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. Like I love them like family. I really do. But we've all got that family member or several family members that think that they're the ones that know how to do it. They know that they are right, and you need to do what they are saying. So, I do not believe that. I used to think that one size would fit all, that everyone on the planet needed to do keto and it would fix everything. I know better now, but that's because I now work with quite a few sick people who keto does not fix. So that's what I had to do. And when you get that big, sometimes it's hard to hear everybody's story. Favorite essential oil similar to tea tree? That is, oh yes, Rev and Sarah. I love essential oils. I absolutely do. Have you tried experimenting with any levers like more electrolytes, upping fats, or iodine? That's the other one. Iodine gives me so much more energy. Let me see. Oh, talking about his means need a good barbecue sauce for ribs. So my barbecue sauce recipe is it's in my YouTube. It is meatball heaven. That's what Cassidy calls it, but it's barbecue meatballs. Let me go see what number it is. That is where my recipe for barbecue sauce is, and it's made with just a regular ketchup. So that is not regular, a keto ketchup, but any keto ketchup that you want to get, and then brown swerve, some spices, liquid smoke. That makes a huge difference. The liquid smoke does. Videos. I'm looking to see which one it is. It's a ways back for my barbecue sauce. Where is it? I know I'm getting close. It's close. Okay, number 30, Meatball Heaven barbecue meatballs. That is where my barbecue sauce is. Let me see. So yeah, that one we make once a week or once every couple weeks, and it just stays in the fridge. I re-put it into the little barbecue or ketchup bottle, and then we reuse it. Yeah, there's that. Lost 11 inches after 3 days when I quit dairy. I highly recommend trying it. I know. I don't want to, but I should. Maybe for the last part of 75 hard, I'll end up cutting that out. I'm going to start working with Danny April 29th. So I have full expectations of her to be like, yeah, you should probably try not dairy. I know. I'm just going to keep it as long as I can for right now. Yes. Briar Rose and I are very similar in the fact that extra potassium makes us sick. It will make my heart beat out of my chest, and it will make my ankles swell up. But if I eat it in an avocado, I'm okay. But if I go more than like half of an avocado, oh, it's bad juju. Right off. Your tax write-off if you sell your land, put the next owner has to pay. Interesting. I plan to die in this house, just so y'all know. I never want to move again. I'm happy here. I love my farmette. Let's stay here. Yes, what I have to do, I have to add spices and all kinds. I can never just eat hamburgers like Kelly Hogan. I'm really jealous of those who can. Yes, Gloria, I say that all the time. I'm like, I am so jealous that you guys can do that. I am so jealous, but that's just apparently not where I am. And that's okay, because if I was one of those people that could just eat meat and get healthy, I wouldn't be here talking about everyone needs an individualized approach, and we got to figure out what works for you. Because I would truly believe that. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I think I should probably get off because I need to go drive a tractor again while they muck out the emu pen. The rest of what used to be the emu pen, which is about to be the sheep pen. And then we've got all that coming. So before I wrap up, I wanted to 2 more quick little announcements. 1, the Yetis are in. The Yetis that we ordered, the steak in a cups, are in. So please message me. You can email me if you've already placed an order. Email me or message me in Facebook or on Instagram and let me know, hey, remember I placed this order for this cup. How much do I owe you? And then I will get your address and plug it into my stamps.com, and I will get the shipping costs, and then I will let you know. And as soon as I get payment, then they will get shipped out. I'm just waiting on the boxes to get delivered. So the Yetis are in. And then also I wanted to say thank you to everybody for the stickers and the super chats. And I have been getting gifts in the mail. Someone has now sent me both of the Iodine books. I have Dr. Brownstein's book and I have Lynn Barrow's book. I actually have my own physical copy now. I'm so excited. And I have gotten money gifts. I have gotten so much stuff. Someone asked me, she's like, where's your wish list for Amazon? I was like, what? So she was like, okay, go make a wish list and then I can send you something off of it. So that's where I put the book, the Iodine Crisis on there. I didn't even know it was a thing. So she was like, yeah, just put it down below in the description box. Don't tell anybody. She's like, and I bet you people will find it. I was like, that's a thing. Oh my gosh. So thank you so much to everyone who has gifted us things, whether it's money or the physical things. I can't even say thank you enough. It blesses us so much and it helps us out so much. And it just absolutely makes all of it worth it. Because it is work, it is hard, and it's time away from the family, but you guys are absolutely worth it. This is the one. If you can only read one book, this is 100% the one you need to do, The Iodine Crisis by Lynn Farrow. This is the one that breaks it down for you on a personal level. And this is the one that teaches you that the same thing that Ansel Keys did to fat is what Wolf and Chaikoff did to iodine. And that I believe, and not all of the people in this space believe this. A lot of people in this space will say, no, you only need a tiny bit. You don't need much. You're okay without it. But I have also been told, and I'll probably talk about this next week in my live, how I discovered iodine and why I'm pretty passionate about it. Because I was told, here's how much I think you need, but don't take my word for it. Do your own research. And that is exactly why I started my own research. And now I'm super passionate about iodine because it literally has changed my life and the life of dozens of other people that I have told about it. And they have reached out to me and told me the most amazing updates and things like that from increasing the iodine. So that was super cool. Let me see. Wendy, you're so sweet. I love you. Is important to do salt loading? Yes. Read the book first. Read the book. Sherry, hi Amy. Have you heard of anyone having horrible, heavy menses and extremely tender, swollen breasts after starting the iodine? So yes, that happens for some people if you are not doing the salt loading and if you are not doing the companion nutrients and enough of them. That can absolutely happen because your body is getting flooded with the bromide and it's so toxic that your body is doing everything that it can to get rid of it. It made my husband's heart rate jump up to 130 beats per minute while it was resting because it wanted to pump everything out as fast as it could. So that absolutely can happen with the iodine if you are not doing the salt loading and if you are not taking the companion nutrients. At first, I didn't think we needed the companion nutrients as carnivores. But now I'm thinking that we probably do need quite a few of them. And all of it honestly should be based on blood levels to see how much you have, how much magnesium do you have, how much selenium do you have? Do you need to supplement these things? Are you actually absorbing your protein? Because if you're not, then you may want to take the B2 and B3 supplements that could help you get it even better than what you're getting from your meat. So yes, that is very possible. Detoxing the bromide is super important. I did not understand the importance of it at first. I think maybe doing companions, but not the salt loading. The salt loading is super, super important. There's also a product, I don't have it though. It's called Alka-Seltzer Gold. It's like regular Alka-Seltzer, but it's gold. Not cold as in like cold, but gold as in like jewelry gold. So that is like the next step up. If salt loading isn't making you pee enough to get rid of the bromide, you can do Alka-Seltzer Gold instead. You can do some of those tabs and it will detox you. It supports your kidneys, it supports your liver, and it can help cleanse you out better. So I highly recommend that you take a break from the iodine on the weekends, especially, but continue to salt load in the morning and in the evening. Potentially more than that. If you're having severe symptoms like that, I would honestly do it every like 30 to 45 minutes for a couple of hours until you are peeing your brains out. And then you can back off and just start doing it once in the morning and once at night. It's on page 203, I think, of the iodine crisis. So the salt loading is super important. And when we don't do that, bad things happen. But yes, please read the book, listen to the book a million times, and start educating yourself before you just start taking the iodine, because the detox is nasty. Honestly, I was worried we were going to have to go get Richard some medicine because his heart just didn't want to calm down. So he completely stopped the iodine, started everything else, and it finally got better, but it took a little while. So someone else mentioned berberine in a comment section. What is it for? The berberine. I've heard about berberine for a lot of things, actually, but I can't remember what they all were right now. So I'm going to give you a second we'll see if they answer you real quick. And then I'm really going to go because I have to go drive a tractor and muck out a pen. Actually, I'm not the one doing the mucking. I've done that before. Now it's other people's turn, but I drive the tractor because I'm insured on the tractor. I'll have one of the kids record me driving on the tractor so you all can see me in my next farm update. So, okay, I'm going to go, guys. So I love you all very much. Thank you so much for blessing us and for hanging out with me today. So I will see you next week, if not before then, in the Mighty Network. So I love you guys. Bye, guys.